Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Boy, do I have a good one for you guys today. We are doing the top 10 makeup products that I've tried out in the year 2025 so far. I love doing these kind of halfway mark videos. Now I know technically we're like at the end of August, so I'm really late with this one. I should have done this in June or July, but we're gonna do it anyways. I was very selective. I picked out my 10 favorite things that have impressed me the most from this year. We will get right into it, but quickly before we do, to any of my new visitors out there, I wanna wish you a special welcome. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Make sure that your notification bell is turned on as well. And with that said, let's get right to it. Okay, so let's start with the face products. This first one, probably if you've been watching me for a while, if you watch most of my videos, this one's not gonna surprise you at all. It is the Wet n Wild Clean Primer. I've even been forcing myself to reach for other things, and we're getting down to, I'd probably say about a third of the way done with this. I love it so much. It's such a great little primer. If you like those kind of tacky, grippy primers, if you like the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, the original like tacky green, I think it's actually green on the skin. The bottle's just green. Anyways, if you like that sort of thing, this is probably the best drugstore version that I found for that one so far. Very impressed with this one though. Very nice and sticky, but it doesn't feel sticky on the skin once it's kind of set down. It wears really well underneath foundation. It works for my dry skin. It doesn't dry my skin out. And everything looks great on top of it, including this foundation, which is one of my favorite foundations more recently, is the Maybelline 30 Hour Lumi Matte. This foundation I didn't love the first time I tried it. I know I've talked about this one a few times since, so again, maybe you're not that surprised to see this one in this video. My first try of this one, I only used one pump and I just didn't feel like it covered quite enough, but what I love the most about this foundation is how buildable this one is, and it builds up beautifully. So I typically will use one pump all over and then I'll use a tiny bit more. By the way, the pump on this thing, a good pump is so important to me. I know that seems like a silly, finicky thing, but I do not like pumps where you can't do like a quarter of a pump or a half a pump. You basically do a full pump or nothing. This has a very good controllable pump. So anyways, after my initial pump, I'll go in with like a quarter or a half a pump more and just add a little extra coverage where I need it, build up a little more, and it doesn't look heavy at all. Covers amazingly. It has a beautiful skin-like finish. It's not dewy, it doesn't move around, but it's also not drying or mattifying, or like it doesn't sit down to where you feel like a cake face. It's just a very pretty foundation. It wears really well, which I love. I love a good foundation that's gonna last a good long while. I've noticed quite a few different people speak very highly of this foundation, and they're people that have different skin types, which makes me think that this is probably would work good for a lot of people, whether you're a little bit younger, a little bit older, oily, more dry. Just a good kind of all-purpose foundation. By the way, the shade I use is 128, which works really good for me right now. Okay, let's move into some cheek products. So I have two blushes and one bronzer. Let's start with the bronzer. It's the Laura Mercier bronzer. I tried really hard not to love this thing. So many people talked about this, and I hadn't tried out a good high-end bronzer for quite a while, so I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll give this one a try since everyone seems to be loving it. So I gritted my teeth. I put the $42 high-end bronzer in my cart, and when I got it in the mail and opened it, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the size of the packaging. I just kind of felt like it looked sort of small for spending $42 on it. Now, I've looked at the amount of product you get inside, which by the way is 9 grams. That's pretty standard for a bronzer. So I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I was hoping for a bronzer the size of the old school Marc Jacobs bronzer, maybe the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. So I was a little disappointed to see how small it was. And then I was a little bit unsure about what to do with the two tones, because if you read, you can do it kind of both ways. You can go in with one side and then like top with the other, or just mix them all together. I don't even bother with the two-tone thing. I just mix it all together and it creates the most beautiful bronzed cheek. I was using it so much for a while that I was starting to get a very large dent. You can't even see, I think initially it had like an LM imprint on it. You can't even see that anymore. So I tried to force myself to use some of my other bronzers, kind of hoping that I might come back and realize, you know, is this really worth $42? Actually, I don't even know if I want to say that it's worth $42. Is anything really worth $42? But is it great? Yes, it's still great. Every time I come back and use this, it's just the perfect color. If you have a very hard time finding bronzer shades that are not too ashy, but not too orange, that kind of almost blush and bronze, maybe even highlight at the same time. This is one of those bronzers that kind of does it all. Okay, let's talk about a couple of blushes. So first off are, generally speaking, the NYX Buttermelt blushes, but specifically speaking, this particular shade. This is the shade Filling Butter, which is a shimmering terracotta. I am wearing it on my cheeks today. I feel like I went a little heavy with the blush today, but it's so pretty. This is one of those blushes that gives you almost like a rosy bronze look. You could kind of do the like sunburn kind of look with it. Perfect for summer or fall. It is quite pigmented, so if you do have more light or fair skin, go in with a very light hand with this one. You maybe want to get the excess off on the back of your hand first. But man, it blends like a dream. The color is beautiful. The shimmer, it doesn't come off on your skin in a way that looks too strong. I'm very picky about that. I have a lot of large pores in this area of my face, so if something is too shimmery, it's gonna make my pores look large. I don't find this to do that with me. I think it's beautiful. It's a very unique shade of blush that I've really been enjoying, and I love the formula of these blushes. They're so nice. But another one I have to mention, I feel like I mentioned both of these blushes in my recent video. It is the Sephora Blush 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 Trio. This one's in the shade Sunset Chaser. I love these. This cream blush in particular is really the star of the show, but even the powder blushes, especially if you're wanting to do double duty to get your blush to last a little bit longer, do the cream first, or I've actually heard you can do this the opposite way too, do the powder first and then the cream on top. Anyways, if you thought the Patrick Ta blushes were a little bit out of your budget, but you like the concept of those, try these ones out. Now, I've only tried one shade of these so far, but I'm very interested to go back and pick up a couple more. I think they have 4 shades available. This one though is lovely. If you like anything kind of corally or warm pink, this is beautiful. It's the perfect shade for summer or fall, really any time of year. Just a good nude blush, very nice and creamy. The powders are nice and pigmented. I love that you get one that's a little bit darker and then one that's a little bit lighter. Sometimes I'll just mix them both together to put on top. A lot of times I'll just use the cream alone. A very versatile product. The packaging feels really, really nice. And best of all is the price. These are only $18. You get a lot of product in these. You get 3.4, I think it's 3.4 grams of cream and then 2.2 and 2.4 respective grams of powder on the other side. They're nice and sturdy feeling. I love these. I think this is a great Sephora collection release. The next product is also a little bit newer to me, but honestly guys, I can't stop using this. In fact, 5 days after I tried this for the first time, I went to my store and I bought a backup just in case this happens to go out of stock or disappear for some reason. It's the Makeup Revolution Skin Silk Under Eye Brightening Concealer. I have used this so much for this being so new that the insignia is already rubbing off of the outside because I literally use this every single day. Now, the only thing with this concealer, it's not really an all over the face concealer. It's really just to brighten your under eye. And when I say under eye, I'm not talking about this. I know I repeat myself all the time with this, but I kind of feel like, in case you don't know this, don't be swiping your concealer, especially if you're older, all the way across your under eye. You're gonna run into trouble if you do that. This, I basically just put from like my inner eye right there, down right, you guys can see that, I mean, you can't really see the shadowing because this concealer does such a great job. If you see that very subtle shadow I get right there, I only put it right there. I spend a good minute or two working this cooling metal doe foot, which I initially thought was a little bit odd, but I kind of love it now, into the skin and kind of like get the concealer in there. And then I'll grab a brush, sometimes a sponge, but I typically prefer a small concealer brush, and I'll blend it in. And you guys, my under eyes look like I am 34 again. Truly, I feel like it takes 10 years off. By the way, I use the one in light peach. They do have several different shades of this. So obviously you might need a different shade depending on your skin tone, and maybe the other shades won't work as good as this one. I can only speak to what I have tried so far, but man, you guys, I love this so much. It really has kind of taken over my love for the Cali Ray Hideaway, which I still like that one because it's so pigmented, but something about this one, partly being the price, I love that this is under $10. It's one of the best makeup products I've tried in, maybe not even this year, maybe in the last couple of years. Okay, let's talk about a mascara. This has been the year of mascara tries. I have so many open mascaras right now. Every company has figured out how to do the tubing mascara now, and I'm very curious about it because I'm a big fan of long wearing / water resistant / tubing mascaras. But of the ones I've tried this year, I'm gonna have to go with the lash extender from e.l.f. This one is still my favorite. It's so affordable. I love that you can find this at basically any drugstore or Ulta for $7. The formula of this, because it's a little bit drier, it's so fast to put on your eyelashes. It goes on so quickly. It's not quite as messy as some other ones like the wrap lash, which I do really like, but that one I have to be a little bit more careful with. It also dries instantly. So you really can can put this on in like 5 seconds and have your lashes all done. I am wearing it today in my lashes, so you can see that it gives good volume and length. It holds up to watery eyes. It doesn't start to kind of flake or melt or kind of like turn into like a gloopiness to where it like, some tubing mascaras can do this. They get a little bit gloopy when your eyes get a little bit too watery. This one doesn't do that, but it still removes relatively easily. I don't want to say it removes easily. You need warm water, very warm water with this, but as long as your water is warm enough, you can get this off with just some simple soap and water. So this is my favorite. I have a lip product to share. It is the Profusion Dreamy Lip Plump Lip Pen. This one is in the shade Pretty in Pink. I love this so much. This is so beautiful. If you like this style of product, I know lots of companies have these lip pens. I've tried quite a few of them now. A lot of them I love, but this one is my favorite. It's a little bit stiffer than some other ones. I like the packaging of this one. It's not the clicky pen, it's a twist. You guys hear that? And there's something about that click that is just so satisfying to me. I love the color of this one. By the way, I am wearing it on my lips today. I have a little bit of my Natasha Denona Cala lip liner underneath. It's beautiful. It feels like butter. They aren't scented or anything, so maybe they have like the very subtlest mint scent to them, but they're lovely. They're beautiful. They're so affordable. They have the perfect amount of color. They give just a little bit of like this milky pink soft color, but they're not so pigmented that you can't wear anything underneath them, or what you're wearing underneath them won't also kind of peek through a little bit if you're doing a lip liner or a lipstick that's not quite that shade. They go with everything is what I'm trying to say. Okay, last two products. These are both eyeshadow palettes. Let's start with the one that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. This one is pretty new to me, but I knew the moment this came out, I had to mention it in this video because I'm so excited to see that this company duped this palette. It is the Sunlit Dreams palette, which is a dupe for the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. I love that palette so much. It is so good if you like your warm, bronzy, rich tones, but you did not want to spend $69 on an eyeshadow palette. I'm telling you guys, this thing is so great. I'm wearing it on my eyes today and I feel like my eyes look like $1,000,000. It's so good. Just this color story in general is one of my favorites that Natasha Denona has ever done. I love my warm tones. I like cool tones as well, and sometimes depending on my mood or the time of year or my outfit, I definitely will be more of a cool tone mood. But if I really had to pick, if push came to shove, something about putting rich, warm tones on my eyes, just like, it like warms up my soul. I don't know, I just really like chocolatey tones on the eyes. I think they're gorgeous. And this one is just perfect. Probably the reason this palette particularly speaks to me, that's such a dumb phrase, but let's use it. Speaks to me are the lid shimmers in this. If you like your rose golds and your champagnes, they're all so beautiful. I love a good lid shimmer. I love that you get a creamy cream to powder shade in here, which I love throwing in the outer crease. Then you can top those with an even darker brown and just get that rich kind of smoky outer corner. It seriously is like hot chocolate on your eyes. As much as I love the originals, it's so nice to have a really well-performing alternative or dupe. And then last but not least is the Cozy Cafe palette from Sydney Grace. I just love Sydney Grace eyeshadows, as you guys very well know. This one is such a fun palette to play with. I feel like it has like 3 different moods. You get like an earthy mood, you get kind of like a rosy mood, and then you have these kind of smoky grays, which are all kind of like a particular look, which I just have really been enjoying. They're also all just barely outside of my, I don't know if I should say comfort zone, what I do on an everyday basis. So they kind of like push me a little bit to do something a little bit different than just a standard light tan in the crease and a shimmer on the lid. These force me to do that and kind of have fun with my makeup again. Sydney Grace shimmers, I've said it many times, I will continue to say it, they can't be beat. They're like the best. Oh, I missed one. There we go. I mean, just look at these. They are so metallic. Nobody makes shimmers like Sydney Grace. They are truly the best swatches ever. I know their palettes are a little bit on the pricey side, but I'm telling you guys, the quality of these, phenomenal. And last up, you guys, we're gonna do a bonus. I know I said top 10, but I noticed this off to the side. I felt like I had to mention it. It's the Milk Makeup Balmade. Now, the reason I didn't want to mention this one particularly in my top 10 is because these were sent to me. I didn't actually purchase this on my own. And to be honest, I probably would not have purchased these because when it comes to higher end lip balms, there's always just something about a lip balm that's closer to $20 that makes me a little bit reluctant. But I have to say, these are divine. They are delicious. I mean, the reason I love these so much is the scent and flavor. They all smell and taste amazing. I can't pick a favorite. They sent me the whole range and I've been rotating them through my bag. Honestly, I can't pick a favorite. I love them all. They're all amazing. As far as the color, none of these give a ton of color, so I don't know that the color should really be what determines which one you get, because I kind of feel like they all end up just looking about the same on the lips. They're just basically clear with the tiniest hint of color, but they give a good pop of shine. They're very comfortable. They're not sticky and they smell so incredibly good. I can't put these on my lips without literally like, I mean, I have to make that sound every time I put these on because they're so yummy. And that is it. Those are the best products that I have tried from this year so far. What did you think of this one? I know these videos are always tough because there are a few things that I feel like probably were close to making it in that I couldn't include. I had to pick something, but these are the ones I landed on. Let me know what you think. I would love to know what your favorite things that you've tried out this year so far are. Like, what's your number one? What is the most revolutionary or impressive thing that you have tried out that's on the newer side? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me give you one final reminder to subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And you guys all know I eat my lip balm. Sort of. I don't eat it. I just might lick my lips a little bit more when I have these on.